Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. So today we have some pretty unfortunate news. Matt Brash might be out for the season. I have the piece by Ryan Divish right next to my head if you want to read along. It says, right-hander Matt Brash was shut down from throwing after feeling banged up following his bullpen session last Tuesday. The young reliever didn't provide many details but looked down at his elbow during the conversation. Mariners manager Scott Service had no details on the situation both in his morning media sessions and in a recent radio interview. He wouldn't provide details on where Brash was hurting. Service said they will have an update to the issue in the next couple of days. Industry sources believe that Brash could miss an extensive amount of time, possibly the whole season. Even if the updates are positive on Brash's arm, he likely won't be ready to go for opening day, and the Mariners certainly won't rush his progress. So what does this tell you? Right now, Mariners Twitter and Mariners fans in general, a lot of Mariners fans that I know are texting me and tweeting at me saying, this is a terrible, this is a disaster. Matt Brash is out for the season. And I think, as Mariners fans, maybe this is because we're M's fans, maybe it's just because we're all really negative, but it feels like right now everybody is looking at this little line down here that says possibly this season. At the very end of that paragraph, everyone's basically assuming that this means, he's out for the season, right? We want to hope that, obviously we hope that he'll be back. We hope that he makes a recovery, but if it's possible that he's out for the season, we're going to assume the worst until we know that it's not the worst. Is that the best way to look at it as a fan? Probably not, right? Probably want to be more optimistic, but I understand the people who are saying, rightfully so, that he's out. Because when I first got this news, I was like, oh, shoot, he's out for the season, right? Because everyone's texting me oh, did you see Matt Brash is out for the season? Oh, that's tough. And I saw, everyone on Twitter talk. Then I looked at the article and I did a little more research. So Matt Brash has had some issues with his shoulder before. He has had issues similar to this, apparently. So maybe it's not a big deal. I don't know. The industry sources thing is what's throwing me off here. Who are these industry sources? We don't know. But I do generally trust Ryan Divish. He's usually pretty accurate on his reporting. And so, it's a bummer to hear this, to read this. But right now, I'm assuming we're probably, I'm gonna say, in my head, we don't have Matt Brash till July. And we have to hope that we get him for the postseason, hope that we get him for, August, September. That'd be really awesome if he could come back. But I'm assuming that this is going to sideline him till about at least July. I think that's a fair place to start. And so the next question is, well, how do you fill in? How do you fill Matt Brash's gap? And I think you do it in a couple ways. First off, this makes the Gregory Santos trade look so good. Because I was even a little bit critical of the Santos trade. Not that I didn't want Gregory Santos, but I thought maybe we overpaid a little bit for Santos. At this point, I would make that trade in a heartbeat. If knowing now that Brash was going to miss possibly the whole season, then absolutely you'd trade Zach DeLoach for Gregory Santos. Whereas with Matt Brash, it was okay, Santos is nice, but we don't necessarily need him. Now we need Gregory Santos. This also kind of leaves a gap as far as who's that third guy going to be, right? We got Munoz is going to be the closer. Santos now is definitively the setup guy. Gabe Spire is your left-handed specialist when there's high leverage situations for lefties. So you kind of have those three defined roles, but who's going to be that third guy who's really going to step up and kind of fill the Justin Topa? Because we initially grabbed Santos in trade to replace Justin Topa. But now we need Santos to replace Brash, which means we need somebody else to replace Topa. So that's the question, is who's that going to be? And I think there's a couple of candidates. Taylor Saucedo and Trent Thornton are probably the two most likely guys to be that number 3 and be that 7th inning kind of stopper role. So that leaves you with Munoz. It leaves you with, let me count. We got Munoz, we've got Saucedo, Thornton, we've got Santos, and then we've got Gabe Spire. That's 5. Okay, Brash would have been 6. I'm assuming Austin Voth is going to be on the opening day bullpen as well because he has a major league deal. We signed him to an MLB contract, so that's 6 right there. So that leaves 2 spots now we have to fill. Previously would have had 1 to fill. Now we have 2. My guess is I think they really like Carlos Vargas, so I'm thinking he might make the opening day team. Edward Bizardo is also currently injured, so I'm assuming he won't. So that brings you down to Vargas, Ty Adcock, who I really like, Jackson Cower, who I really don't like. You also would have, maybe you want to throw Levi Stout in the pen, but I think they'd rather try him as a starter in AAA and keep him as a, injury replacement for starters. Then you've also got Mauricio Oliveira, and you've got Colin Snyder. So there's still some names out there. I would say, personally, I would on opening day go with the guys with the most experience, which is Colin Snyder and Mauricio Oliveira. But I understand wanting to just throw Vargas out there right away because he does have a ton of potential and he does throw the ball super hard. I think if anything, this injury does open the door to Carlos Vargas being on the opening day roster. But if it was me, I'd probably go with Oliveira and Colin Snyder because they do have more experience in the big leagues. Also, I forgot to mention Cody Bolton also would be in the mix for that opening day. So I think it's gonna be Livero. If it was up to me, I'd put in Livero and Snyder, and then that leaves you with Vargas, Bolton. It leaves you with Levi Stout in AAA. It leaves you with Jackson Cower, who would then go to AAA. And it leaves you with Ty Adcock. So you still have some solid pieces that would be down in AAA that you can call up if needed. And then Bizardo as well once he becomes healthy. So you still have about 6 guys who are down there in AAA who you can call up. That being said, would you rather have Matt Brash or would you rather have Colin Snyder? Would you rather have Matt Brash or Carlos Vargas? Obviously the answer is Matt Brash. And this sucks. Do I think this is detrimental to the team? I don't think it's detrimental. Matt Brash is probably about a 2 WAR player, so that means what? We're gonna be 2 wins worse. Okay, I can see that. It also means though that maybe we need to look into getting another reliever. I don't know. There's still guys on the market. There's still a few guys who are available. Nobody that's really that good, unfortunately. We also signed Ty Buttrey to a minor league contract. Maybe this gives him an opportunity to get back to the major leagues. We'll see about that. But yeah, I mean, it's obviously definitely not ideal, but I don't think this is detrimental necessarily. Now, I will say this. I don't think that the Mariners should do what they did last year, where they did kind of closer by committee, different roles in different situations. I think last year they had an arsenal of relievers that allowed them to do that. This season, I would rather see some defined roles. I think, especially with this injury, I really would like to just have Munoz is the 9th inning. Santos is the 8th inning. Gabe Spire comes in when there's a really big left-handed batter in a close game. Saucedo can do the 7th inning. Thornton is your stopper. I would really like to see some defined roles. And Austin Voth is your long relief. I don't want it to be situational matchup based, because situational matchup based, that only works when you have a lot of really, really good players who are able to all kind of fill those roles individually. I think right now you're down to kind of just 2 elite bullpen arms, and then a few guys who we like, and then a few guys who we're not really sure about. And when that's the situation you're in, you don't want to take any chances, right? You don't want to take any chances. So with that being said, I think, this is probably, we're about 2 wins worse. Can we make up for it? Sure. Go sign Matt Chapman. Go sign, I don't know. There's not a whole lot of other people available, to be honest. Matt Chapman is, Blake Snell is. We're not signing Blake Snell. But go get Matt Chapman. Why not? I mean, you're going to need him. you would use him. You could definitely use him. But with that being said, yeah, that's where the Mariners are at right now. Matt Brash really sucks for him. Hopefully that he is able to stay healthy, get better. It sucks. He didn't even pitch in spring training, so that's obviously bad. I mean, when you don't even get a chance to pitch live in spring training, that's awful. And pitchers, you got to be careful. It might be Tommy John. It might not. If it's not Tommy John, you got to be careful because one thing leads to another and it spirals. So if you push him too quickly, then it could lead to Tommy John, which is obviously would be a disaster. So hopefully that doesn't happen. I'd definitely prefer if it doesn't. But that's my take. I'm Levi, and this is the NW Sportscast. If you want more breaking news updates just like this about the Seattle Mariners or about the Seattle Seahawks, who I have the flag right behind me, then make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, and comment down below, how bad do you think that this is going to affect the Mariners? You think this is really bad, kind of bad, not bad at all? Obviously, none of us are happy, but how sad are you? You can comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. If you have any questions, let us know. We'll try to get those answered in a future video. But with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. We do appreciate the viewership, even on a somber kind of news like this. We're trying to reach 700 subscribers by the end of the month for opening day. We're trying to celebrate opening day with 700. So if you guys want to join us on that journey, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It would mean a lot to me. It would mean a lot to my co-host, Drew, who is currently been pretty busy as he is studying broadcasting at Syracuse University. So it's tough for him to find time to make content sometimes, but he's still with us. He's still, even if you haven't seen him in a while, he's still with us. And with that being said, guys, as always, go Mariners, and we'll see you guys in the next one.